Hey guys,
Hello.
we should record an episode about the two Giovannis in one cup.
Yeah?
We forgot to plug our socials in there until the end, so let's do it again.
I mean, I tried to get you guys to multiple times, but we had gone too far.
Segue. We ignored your natural segue.
Okay, so here we go again. I'm Josh Ruff at joshruff.com and all the things. www.joshruff.com. And I'll be at Tattoo the Lou this weekend in St. Louis.
Hi, everyone. Reggie Cuvelier here. You can find me at Reggie Inks on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get a hold of me at ReggieInks@gmail.com for any illustration, tattoo, or consultation needs. You can also find me on Patreon for $1 a month. You can give me $1 or $7.50 a month. You can subscribe to my postcard program. Thank you.
Zach Pedley. I run the North Brewery next door. You can find us on Facebook, the North Brewery on Facebook, or the North Brewery on Instagram. Also, I have private accounts, TikTok, Chomp88. I just looked it up. It's the first 8 is spelled, so it's CHOMPEIGHT 8. Also, on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well as I like my beers ratchet. Thank you.
I'm Christina Maslar. You can find me on Facebook under Christina Maslar, Instagram Christina_Maslar. I'm part of Crucible Gallery. You can find me here sometimes or home. Oh, that's Brandon. He has a show in Philly that closes in a couple days. He forgot to mention it on the end.
Oh, yeah,
so
Arch Enemy, you're
Arch
beautiful.
Enemy.
Please don't watch this Arch Enemy.
Yeah. You can also find him under the stairs or getting 10 points from
BamBurnsThings.com.
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. Amazing.
You did a segue for him.
Amazing. That was amazing.
Okay.
How are we still so bad at this?
This week we talk about sculpture.
Yeah,
I
we
find
do.
it to be
Our
charming
first
how
sculpture
bad we are at
episode.
it.
Yeah, we talk about two Giovannis.
Yep.
I don't remember their last names, but one guy
Frappa
does all the
and
work and the other guy
Bastian.
capitalizes on it.
A lot
Spoiler
of
alert.
eyes.
Frappuccino.
Yep. And
Fupa.
Bastianini.
Fupa and Frappuccino.
Tortellini.
There is a dude that sounds like Tortellini in there.
No, there is.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Now I'm drunk. Now I'm just repeating the bad shit we said earlier.
But yeah, check it out and check out the North Brewery, 110 Washington Ave.
Beer.
Cheers, guys. 'Tis the season.
Kolsch.
What was that song, Reggie?
Damaged by you, damaged by me. I'm confused. Don't
Are you okay, man?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, we're back, everybody. Episode 34, right?
Something like that.
Sure.
30.
And Zach
You
Pedley's
can
here with
write
us
down
again.
There's it's
Thank
a
you.
number with a 3 before it.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
34.
Yeah.
So, Christina, who are we talking about today?
Two dudes named Giovanni.
Two guys.
Two guys.
2
One
heavy
Giovanni.
dudes.
One Giovanni.
2 heavy dudes.
I don't think they were heavy. It was the Victorian time, so I don't think many people had food back then.
Yeah.
And the people that did have food had all the food.
2 scrawny dudes. Okay.
Yeah.
2 dudes.
Just trying to
Scrawny.
just trying to
Scrawny,
understand
and
the
they do
picture I
art.
had.
And they do art. It's 2 dudes that do art.
Their name's Giovanni, so 5 points whoever guessed where they're from.
Ooh.
Russia.
Spain.
Italia.
Ooh. Sicily.
They're from Italy.
Africa.
Oh.
Arkansas.
I don't know what part of Italy. To be
Wow.
honest. It says Fiesel.
Minnesota.
I don't know what that means.
What was the year?
1830 is when he was born.
Cool.
He was
And-
born.
Orange shit. Start drinking.
Drink
We
it.
haven't even introduced ourselves yet.
Oh, we'll
yeah.
do that later. Who cares?
How does anybody know who we are right now?
Nobody
Roll.
knows anything.
I'm going to clank your
At Reggie
tea or
Inks.
nutmeg tea. Is that ginger?
It is orange and spice. It's called hot cinnamon sunset.
Harry Potter.
It sounds like a porn, but it's delicious.
Well, I'm drinking Smash for Stash.
Which also sounds like a porn. I will
does.
smash your
So-
sash.
Little information on that. We did
Yeah,
that
please.
beer. It's all the proceeds are going to brain cancer research.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
I'm
So-
sorry I made jokes.
Well, no, you can make jokes. I'm sure that the guy that's about loved jokes.
Okay.
I got signed up for this by accident from a friend's mom, and we did it.
Cool.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
Supporting
pretty cool.
a good cause. Go down to North Brewery, get some Smash for Stash.
Brewed with El Dorado hops, single malt, single hop.
I like it. It's good.
Sure. Thank you.
I don't know what
Yeah.
that means, but it sounds exotic.
It's
Or like a cowboy.
it's cowboy. Let's go with cowboy. It goes like
Yeah.
it's exotic like a cowboy.
Now, like an exotic cowboy, or not like we're talking village people.
Yeah,
or are you
village
talking
person.
like
They're gay.
Like
The
fucking
cowboy
John
is
Wayne.
gay.
okay?
The cowboy, we're pro that.
We're going Brokeback Mountain.
Thanks for clarifying that for us.
Thank
And it's pro. We're pro it.
All right,
think
and
one
we
of-
just lost all his monetization from YouTube. Right, the first record timing, 5
We're
minutes.
pro.
It's not like we have that anyway, so
Yeah, I
who cares?
know.
We're
So
pro.
you recorded 4 minutes before we actually started, so that's getting cut.
I think I saw once it was someone reposted. It was from someone that seriously posted a picture, and they're like, "I'm proud to be an American and a Republican and all this stuff." And they used a still from Brokeback Mountain because they clearly didn't know what it was about. They just were like, two American cowboys,
Oh, that's awesome.
men being men.
I wonder
Yeah.
how that ad came.
Two dudes hanging out, being dudes, doing what dudes do with no chicks around at all. I'm a dude. She's a dude.
Man, there's so many avenues we can go from this, but we
Let's
gotta
talk
stay on
about
track.
art.
Let's
let's
stay on
stay on
track.
script for
Let's talk
us.
about what
I
we're
did.
here to talk about. The Giovannis.
So who, wait,
Giovannis.
well, who are you guys?
He's trying to segue into an intro. smoothly.
Come, we're way past that.
Beverages.
Everything is falling apart already. I just said his name.
Oh God.
We'll record that part separately.
Oh, we already
Once
drank to
we're
it
in
being
here.
born. Man,
Yeah.
we're in the thick of it.
You guys
I'll drink
already
again
fucked
for
up the
forgetting.
intros.
We'll forgot where we were in the script.
All right.
So we're celebrating 2 Russian guys from Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
2 Giovannis, 1 cup.
Yeah, from Italy. He was born in 1830, Bassiani.
By way of Arkansas.
It said he was sent to work at the Fiesel Stone Quarry at an early age, but it's the 1830s, so that means like 1.5, I'm guessing.
Oh my god.
Because early age, what's...
He just rolled
Yeah,
out
we had
the
to
door.
Early
fight
age
to not
from
send
Victorian time.
toddlers to a paper mill and
like, look,
Stone
our
Quarry.
ages.
You're 5 now. We got bills to pay.
I mean,
well,
at
come
what
on,
age did your
there's-
kid start working?
He's working now. He's 5. But
Good.
you got to give the kids the appropriate job. No one's sending a kid to a stone quarry to move pebbles.
I mean, they might be.
Oh.
His family owned the quarry, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
so
then he was just.
They don't
the-
give a shit.
Oh, he was on paperwork. He was counting the
Oh,
stuff.
no,
Yeah,
he
he
was
was in the
fucking
office.
with the stones, man.
How else are you gonna bulk up?
Actually, so he's a sculptor
Yeah, he becomes a sculptor.
because he worked with stone so much. That's
he used
interesting.
to fiddle and make little reliefs.
You already
in
saw the
stone.
connection.
Yeah.
So this is like the first sculptor we're talking about today then, on this show.
Yeah, the first one we're talking about on the show.
Cool.
To change
It
the
is?
face.
Cheers to 3D art.
I know jack shit about sculpture, but I have lots of respect for it, so this should be interesting.
You do.
I do.
We got a photo of him, Giovanni, probably at the ripe old age of 14 here, because he has a mustache. There's Giovanni.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Giovanni.
14. He looks a little old to be 14.
Maybe he was like.
Or a little
30.
young.
And a half.
I'm pretty sure he died at like 38.
When-
He looks
died
closer
real
to
young.
13.
When did
That's good life
the
expectancy for that time
Yeah.
period.
when did photography take off like big? Like when was it invented?
Probably mid 1800s it was
Mid-
invented, so late 1800s it was becoming more popular.
God, get a photo.
Yeah, the Industrial
That's probably an
Revolution.
illustration, yeah.
That's an illustration?
That looks like an illustration.
No way.
It could be one where
Really?
he died. Like a
Yeah.
super primitive photo, yeah.
Yeah, so with photography in the 1800s, there was like the Civil War, and then like
They did long exposures a lot of the time back then. That's
Yeah.
why no one smiled.
most of the time it was death photos. though.
Okay.
Because sadly, the only thing that they could afford as a family would be the death photo. So that would be the only family they had, like family photo they'd have together.
Oh fuck.
That's sad. That's
Is
the
that why-
fucking time frame that this dude lives in.
And
What was
now,
that movie Once Upon a Time in the West where like they took
A Million Ways to Die, Ways to Die in the
yeah, A
West.
Million Ways to Die in the West. That's what it
He
was.
finds a picture of someone smiling. They're like, they're fucking psychopaths if
Yeah.
they smile in a photo. And someone like,
and now we take a photo, what, like 1 billion every 3 seconds or something
Holy
stupid.
shit.
Yeah, never look at it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
found
take a
this,
photo right now of you, ma'am.
Sidebar. There was a book at Barnes & Noble back in the day that was like old Polaroids and stuff from like between the 30s and the 50s, and they had things written on them like, this was the last time I saw so-and-so. Like really sad shit
Oh,
that you
man.
don't see anymore written on the back of photos. It's just like neighbors that died and people that never saw each other after.
Sidebar. I found a book that was. It was
Never
literally
anywhere.
called. I know. We're going deep. It was naked pictures of my ex-girlfriend. And it was a bunch of Polaroids from like the 70s. And it started off being like really melancholy and be like, she took my V card in high school. And everything was awesome. And then later on, it was like, she gave me a jammer while I was high on mushrooms and said she got a contact lens from that shit. I was like, you were fucking crazy, bro.
You think
Okay.
that she got a contact buzz from getting the
Or it might have been higher than mushrooms. It
The
would have been
gift.
like mescaline. He was like, oh man, I choked him down on
All right.
peyote.
So, the Giovannis.
Yeah. Do you think the Giovannis like mescaline?
It's the 1800s. It's probably all they could do to deal with fucking life.
Morphine and cocaine were already in everything, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Coca-Cola.
I wonder what that tasted
At
like.
age 13,
Delicious.
so middle-aged, he was hired to work by Francisco Ingramini. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, so this makes it right because it's Italian. To work at his private printing press. So this guy, Francisco, he was working on a book about Etruscan antiquities and Tuscan history. So this is probably the first place he learned to do like master copies and things of like old, basically antiquities. Before that, he did like little reliefs while at the quarry from pieces of stone that he stole from his family because he's a little thief. After that, around this time, he also started making, I just said that, small reliefs and sculptures. You guys good?
Easy, dude. He's over there yelling at me more.
I'm not yelling. I'm saying just turn it up a little bit.
You gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be okay.
Blown away in Christina's notebook. There goes the script.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I guess we just gotta start yelling about random things again. Blowjobs and mescaline.
That's the name of the trap group.
Blowjobs and mescaline.
We just started a trap group. Blowjobs and mescaline. Come see us at Kelly's.
So, anyway.
Holy shit.
Oh, we're so sidetracked. Oh, God. Okay, between 1844 and 45, he began working with sculpturist Pio Fidi. From 1845 to 1848, he then apprenticed under Girolamo Tornini. There's so many I's in these fucking names.
Say that like 4 times fast.
I think I
can't
heard
say it
tortellini
once.
there. That's like a
Yeah.
pasta, right?
Yeah, he started apprenticing under a pasta.
Ooh, I could go for this pasta. Okay.
And under him, he made 4 lyre per week, which means nothing to us now, but later we'll start talking about different form of payment, and I'll explain it a little bit better.
Different form of payment.
Different form of payment. So in 1848, Giovanni Bestini caught the eye of Giovanni Freppa, Giovanni number 2.
Okay.
So Freppa offered him a way to learn to work sculpting in a more consistent manner, because
Is this also the guy the Frappuccino is named after?
It might be.
Ooh.
They're both pretty fancy fucks.
Look it up.
So
Yeah, Google it for us because we're not going to remember to.
So first Giovanni, we're just gonna say Giovanni, would make 2 lyre per day, which is way more than he was making on the other dude, if he agreed to work solely for Freppa.
I see where this is going already.
Seems a little sketchy, right? Seems too good to be true. He would also be taught to read and write and do arithmetic, because he didn't know how to do that at that point. He would get room and board and supplied with a studio and tools. And all he had to do was work for this dude solely. So, Giovanni number 1, because I'm not going to say his last name because there's too
Now,
many eyes.
was he allowed to wear pants when he was
They
doing
didn't
this?
specify, but it seemed like a really good offer for that time frame. And Giovanni was like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great." You good?
Yeah, I'm just looking up what lyre, the currency.
I believe that's the currency in
Italy at that time.
Italia.
It's also
Florence was
in
another
Turkish too. Turkey had the same currency, lyre.
one. Yeah.
So while at the studio, he started working with reliefs and sculptures, clay busts, and modeled after the style of work of old masters. So he really liked Romanticism. If you go to the next one, he used to do a lot of sculptures of the same thing over and over again. So he'd first start in like clay and then do it in stone. Well, he started later on working in wood just to try to perfect things. So you can see they're done more in like the style of Renaissance.
That's fucking beautiful, though.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
What is this made of?
This is made out of probably marble.
That's what I
some
thought,
kind of
okay.
stone.
I always was fascinated by how really good sculptors can make stone look like it's soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Especially with-
the
especially
flowing
with-
fabric
And especially
air
no
stuff.
power tools at the time. Like it's
Yeah.
not like you're out there with
Yeah.
like a hand
Hand
sander
chisel.
or like
yeah.
Like you're just sitting there.
right. That's what. Yeah.
So like this was just chisel.
Just chisel and probably they would sand it down a bit. But
This is not like clay where you're molding it and then kilning it and then pulling
No,
it out.
they have
This
like
is-
a block of marble and then just chip away at it until you get this.
yeah.
fuck.
So this dude would just sit in his studio all day and do these things. And back then, what would happen is artists would do stuff like this in the copies of masters, and then they would send them away for competitions, and then whoever won would get like some monetary prize. But the reason for it would be that restorers would use this to actually restore the original pieces of artwork. So that's how they used to do it back then.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So that would be like reference for a restoration.
Yeah. So it wasn't uncommon for him to do lots of copies. And then Freppa being like, yeah, my person really likes your work. They can't afford the original, but I'll sell them this copy. And then give them a small amount of a stipend. But the issue was that Freppa wasn't just someone that liked artwork. He was an antiquity dealer. So he would take it to somebody else, and sometimes they'd add paint to it and carve in a date and sell it as an original.
So forgery is what we're talking
Yes,
about.
forgery. So Giovanni got
So he
accused
was
of being
like,
the first forger, but it was Freppa that was taking it and selling it to places
Oh.
for tens of thousands of. Let's see. what's
So
the
he was
other
like
one?
an evil Mark Landis then.
He is like an evil Mark Landis.
So with this, like educate me more on this. So this dude is literally taking someone else's work, but the other person knows that they're taking it to sell it again.
But he is making it just as a student copy.
Master studies,
So that
which are
guy,
pretty,
he
like,
lives in like a small town, so he's kind of famous in a small town for being a really good sculptor. But he just does basically student studies.
So
So Freppa is taking it to bigger cities and selling these for.
what would be the difference between what he's doing? I mean, yeah, there's a shady aspect of what he's doing versus what guys are doing with Nike shoes. So they're buying like 1,000 Nike shoes, changing the
We'll
design.
get into it.
Okay.
But he is selling it for Swiss francs, so tens of thousands of Swiss francs. So 500 lira equals 29 cents in Swiss francs. So this dude is getting like pennies for this. And this
Oh.
other dude is selling it for so much fucking money. But historians have issues whether the first Giovanni knew this was occurring, but they're like, why wouldn't he just
He
make
thought he was
more
just
money off
working
of
with
it?
this guy.
Yeah, he thought he was
making a
just
decent
working.
wage, and this guy's
hey, I'll
capitalizing.
pay you to hang out in the back shed and do master studies all day.
Exactly.
And he's like, wow, I'm
Yeah.
a patron of the
And
arts.
Later on, he would be like, hey, I want to learn stuff in wood. So he'd borrow tools from a woodworker and carve in wood. And then either he or a different person would buy it, take it to someone that worked in paint, and they'd add paint to it. And then they'd find it someplace else and sell it for tens of thousands of dollars because it's a lost insert medieval fucking person that made stuff.
So we don't know yet if the original Giovanni knew that, or they could have been splitting the money. They could have been.
But they weren't. He wasn't really getting paid much for
Oh, wow.
it. So they don't know along the line which person that purchased it off of the first Giovanni was in cahoots. But if you go to
Oh,
the
I
next
like
one,
that.
here's another example.
I don't.
Of one.
I don't like that one.
I'm pretty sure this one might have been a clay one that was then casted later on.
Yeah, it says terracotta.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this one.
But the thing with Giovanni is he just basically was constantly practicing, so he liked the romantic style. But if we go to the next one, he did some like Victorian versions of stuff too, of just people that were.
I like the guy's
around him.
nose.
Now, would this be bronze or would this be still marble?
That's just clay, I believe. This
Okay.
one's still clay.
Let's go back to this one for a second, though. Let's look at the detail level.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to paint on a flat surface and convey like a 3D realism kind of thing, but like doing it in actual physical form, I think is a very helpful thing. Like even if you're a painter, like any kind of sculpting is going to help you become better at painting, just because you can perceive an object in 3D space.
And someone wrote an article like during his lifetime and said that they would go into a studio and the clay versions were good, but then he'd do it in stone because he was more used to it and become even more detailed and better.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is like a shitty version of what his final thing would be.
The real Giovanni.
Yeah, the first Giovanni.
Okay. Have any of you guys done? I haven't done any sculpting. Have you guys done sculpting?
I suck at sculpting. It's really hard.
Basic shit in college that.
Yeah, I had like a 3D design class, but
Yeah.
I didn't have
Yeah,
like
so did I.
a clay or.
I failed it miserably because I was, doing a lot of weed
extracurriculars.
Interesting.
and other things.
I mostly fucked up with mine and just did like found object sculpture type shit.
My sister did a lot of sculpting. She did really
Way
well.
to the garbage can on the way to class type shit.
This is like my piece about commercialism in a capitalistic modern America, and it's just like a Starbucks cup.
Yeah.
I would have to say sculpture is probably the most archival art form you can do.
Yeah.
Because what's going to last longer than stone? As long as it's like, out, like away from the elements.
But you got the cave paintings
Well, yeah, but
that
that's...
are outdating. Like the sculpting, though, right?
Well, yeah. But...
But those are
Oh,
also
you're saying-
in a
okay, you're
cave,
saying-
they're not
you're saying-
exposed to the elements.
Yeah, you're
something
saying
like that.
sculpting. I mean, other than human
Yes,
destruction.
I mean,
other
sculpture
than
is
war.
carved out of
architecture.
stone, so...
Oh, yeah,
it's
other
gonna
than
last.
war.
One of the coolest sculptures I've ever seen is like carved into the side of a hill, and it starts at the top where it is Hades grabbing Persephone to drag her underground, and then on the side of the hill is all the fucking horses going down.
Oh, wow.
And just you could see like the finger imprints on her skin.
That's a
pushing
Bernini
in.
sculpture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another guy we need to talk about at some point, because that's like the best sculptor in human history, I would say.
Mhm.
Him and Michelangelo.
And you see all like the little vein details and shit. It's crazy.
I love little Michael.
Well, yeah, that's like the softness of stone, like to make it look like that it's insane. Like I don't know how you would even do that.
Well, I take my kid down to the creek almost every day during nice weather, and you pull out rocks that have water washed over them for so long, and they look soft.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
weird. That's a really good, interesting thing the way you
Yeah, and
brought that up.
that's like erosion over
Yeah.
time.
Well,
you know?
yeah. I mean, you're like this type of stuff. Well, like the first one we saw, it was like super fucking soft.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're sculpting, I imagine it's like just manually breaking it down. Like, it probably takes a while to make it that smooth, make it look that good.
But it can be done in a lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing it.
I mean, clearly, there's a lot of sculptors from the Renaissance time that just made amazing stuff, and some today that still do it.
It always amazes me how quickly they do it too.
Yeah, like
Like-
this didn't take him a fucking lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, someone was
I
like,
can't even be bothered to finish a painting sometimes.
Like,
yeah,
wood I can get, like the guys that you see at those weird festivals and they're carving wood out with chainsaws and stuff. But like this, like how
Stone's hard. Like
I
How
you
did
feel
could
like
they-
get
it's the
a
same
pocket
kind of
and
thing, but wood's
fucking-
just more malleable, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
stone would just take a lot more work
But
to
you
get to
fuck
the end
up on
result.
stone. You chisel it wrong and you've cracked the face.
I mean,
like,
it's the same thing with wood, though, because it's like a subtractive
I
medium.
know.
Like, you
True,
start
true.
with, like, a block of something, and then you just take away from what's there until you get something like this.
and I wonder if that's why he was better at that. Like he couldn't wrap his head around building the form,
Yeah.
but he could subtract
Subtracting.
from it.
Well, clay, you can add onto it and, build a little bit, but stone is just like, you fuck up,
It's
there,
unforgiving.
You fucked up.
Which are the two vocabulary terms I remember from 3D art that you just mentioned: additive and subtractive sculpture.
Yeah.
Whether you're chiseling away or whether you're building something up.
wow, that's
Thanks,
interesting.
Fitz.
Well, art lesson here.
Now to kill the rest of our brain cells.
All right, so what's next?
This is just another one that he did more of a Victorian style.
What do you think about the
Yeah.
hair, Christina?
The hair? I feel like I can't be bothered to do my hair ever. If I lived back then, I just wouldn't leave the house.
But that's
I would be total Grey Gardens.
Is this one in plaster?
I love Grey Gardens. That's a shot at my heart.
I think this might be stone as well.
I
What-
wish I could bring back that hairstyle.
But that hair, do you find that attractive? Like a hairstyle like that?
That's pretty.
It's a baller hairstyle for a man.
That's-
It's like you got two
That's
boobs.
a woman.
That's a woman?
That is a woman.
You got to be rolling deep in the Bitcoin.
Eleanor. Oh, wow.
Eleonora. Yeah.
Eleonora.
Oh, that is a woman.
It's a homely
is-
woman.
That is a handsome woman.
Handsome.
Handsome devil right there.
She worked on the Toad Farm.
She worked on the Toad Farm.
It's a callback to another episode that we had.
She is a descendant of Durer's wife. But not one of his kids, we know that.
Zach, would you love to have a bust of yourself just at the brewery?
Well, yeah.
Somebody get on this.
Let's hire somebody on Fiverr.
On Fiverr.
Yeah.
What is that, like an art
If you-
app?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you can hire
Yes.
people for $5.
It's a free
to do
freelance
something.
app. We'll find somebody on
$5?
Fiverr.
Or more. I don't know.
I don't know.
exactly
Who
how it
knows?
works.
If you're
bust.
a sculptor on Fiverr, please comment your portfolio below.
You may or may not get paid.
I'd like a full body sculpture.
I knew that you were going to say that.
That
you
would
don't
be
want to
awesome.
bust. You want.
Draping a cloak like straight Buffalo Bill style.
No, just nude.
Well, how big is the dong in this one?
Small.
So it's like Michelangelo's David, kind of. Huge, imposing figure with a tiny dick.
Well, because it's non-confrontational.
Yeah.
The guy
It's
who
not a
wrote
threatening dong.
the guy who wrote the Dragon movies, the Dragon show, Game of Thrones.
Right.
All of those penises were flaccid on the camera because it's non-confrontational. Women love that shit. I mean, I don't really know if they do, but that's just my
Who knows?
bullshit.
I can tell you haven't watched Game of Thrones.
No, I haven't. I have not. But a flaccid penis
Some real
is non.
rapey scenes in that.
Is there really?
They're all confrontational.
They're all all penises are confrontational.
In that show, they are.
Okay, well, on that show.
Yeah, I remember like episode like 2 or 3. There was a lot of,
Incest.
and then push that kid out the window.
That was a first episode. too.
Yeah, it's a guest episode too. But all right.
Wow.
Oh,
I didn't make it past that point. I was
But-
just like, this is not what I signed up for.
I didn't even watch it. I couldn't get into it. And everyone tells me I want to watch it. You should watch it. I'm like, I'm not watching it even longer now. But back to like that in Rome when they had the full body shot, the penis was always flaccid.
I think
Always.
that had something to do with the culture at that time, though. Because I'm pretty sure I saw a video on YouTube at one point, people explaining why sculpture dicks were so small back then. It had something to do with status. Like, it was, like if you had a
If you
small
were-
dick, it just represented that like you were intelligent or something,
Yeah.
or just like
You're higher up.
You
Yeah.
were an inbred 1%er, part of the early Masonic temples.
Not you wouldn't be inbred at that.
Oh yeah,
The Masons
royal
are inbred.
families are
The
inbred.
royal
Oh,
families.
the royal
Yeah,
families.
yeah.
The royal families.
There is a
1%.
specific. It's called Christmas disease. It's a specific form of hemophilia that comes from the royal family inbreeding.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And if you
know.
worked on a farm, you probably had a huge dong, and you couldn't afford my art anyway. We went there tonight. All right. Thank
Yeah,
you,
so
Zach.
what's
Segue.
You're
what's next
welcome.
about this guy?
So if you want to go to the next one here.
Back to these dicks.
So these are just more examples of his Renaissance style sculpture.
Cherubs.
That became questionable. Cherubs, which is a huge thing at the time. There's
Oh.
another one of a cherub and a chicken, which I find to be hilarious.
Is that on here?
I think it's the next one. No,
Oh.
that one is like a little.
I like that one.
Hawaiians.
Look, he's playing a
It's
little
like Cuba
mandolin.
or something.
Yeah, he's playing like a little lyre. Being a sweet boy.
LARPing.
Now, you mentioned earlier that this guy, he would take people's paint sculptures and resell them. It was just one guy he did, or was it multiple people?
I think it was multiple people in his town that figured out how to do that, but he was just like, oh, people are buying my work. Cool, I could support my family.
This guy just had the exchange rates down.
Was he the
Yeah.
only artist that Giovanni was?
Yes.
So was Giovanni
That's what I
2 only
There's Giovanni
catfishing
Fupa.
Giovanni 1?
I think they were catfishing multiple
Giovanni
artists because they
Frappuccino.
take stuff from Giovanni
Fupa
1
Frappuccino.
and they would be like, hey, you can't polychrome stuff. I'm going to buy this. And then they'd bring it to another artist and be like, can you paint this for me?
That's
And
interesting.
they bring it to somebody else. But in that time frame, sometimes not only Giovanni 2 would buy stuff from him, other people would. And then fake it to turn it into an antiquity and try to sell it for...
So everybody else
Thanks.
was Jeff Koons in the art
Yeah,
market, and he was
they
just like,
were.
"I like to make sculptures. This is
He
cool."
just lived in a small town
Yeah, let's
in
talk
Italy.
about that after we get done with
Yeah.
Okay.
this stuff. Because, yeah.
So
we
the
kinda
next
brought
one
that up
is
earlier.
the hilarious one, which I absolutely love. It's just another. What the fuck's going on with that chicken?
It's a kid with a giant cock.
I love it so much.
I
He's
was
upset.
Say it.
This kid was probably a farmer.
Yeah, he was not a royalty.
Oh god! But look
Yeah,
at the
grabbing
pure
cock
joy
as a
on his
baby. This
face.
probably wasn't royalty.
Oh man,
Zach, would you put this in the brewery?
I would. I would put this piece in the brewery.
He's having such a great time though. That
He
kid's
really
expression
is.
is awesome.
I would love a piece like this. I mean, we were trying to get Bam to let us put the creepy dolls that he collects at one point in our brewery, but they were too expensive. But like, I would put something like this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it
is
is
he crying? It's ridiculous. He's like,
It looks like he's fucking that chicken. That's what that looks like.
the chicken's trying to get away, and how would you even capture this image in the 1800s anyways? Like, you saw
Well,
this
that's just
on
the
a
thing. I'm
farm.
pretty sure it is based off of a Renaissance one. So 1400s. Someone in the 1400s captured it, and then he recaptured it. Yeah,
It's great.
I love this. This is
it.
my favorite one.
this is great.
It's pretty good.
It's
Love
like,
it.
you see,
He grabbed that chicken by the feet and then he bear hugged it and he was like, "Ah, I got you."
see, this is like,
Dude, there's so much comedic
just wanna
value to
pet
this
you.
sculpture.
it is. But you know that one sculpture with that big, giant masculine dude like fighting off the babies, like kicking the babies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that's like how ludicrous this would be. Like there's a ludicrous paintings and stuff. Like I wouldn't even call that abstract. Like ridiculous paintings of all this crazy crap going on. Like, lately with all the presidents like in really patriotic poses, like Reagan out of a
oh,
tank.
you're talking like the one with like Lincoln
The
on a
t-shirt?
bear or something?
Lincoln on a bear, that type
Yeah.
of shit. Like with this, dude, that Giovanni had some comedic value. This is comedic.
It is.
So these, I'm pretty sure, were just straight copies because Freppa would bring him like little models of things or sketches, and he would do copies of them. But the next one, it should be, yeah, this one they think might be one of Giovanni's.
And back to pretty.
Yeah, but if we go to the
This
one
is after
after
it got
this,
painted, right?
yeah, this is after it got polychromed. So this is where he started.
So
this
what,
one's supposed to be the last one.
so what exactly is
Sure.
polychromed versus painted?
Yeah.
It's just a form of paint. I didn't look it up, so I'm just gonna say it's a form of paint.
Okay.
I think it lasts longer. Okay, so
Primitive version over to acrylic.
yeah. So there's another one in
If we
the
made that up,
roll
comment below.
that kind of looks like this one. It should be after that guy. Yeah.
This one.
I love the guy before that though. Let's go back to him.
No,
real
we're
quick.
gonna go back to him at the end.
Oh, okay.
Wood,
just
stucco,
wait your
cloth,
pretty little-
polychromy, and gilding.
Yeah, this one actually lives in Washington D.C. at the National Museum.
That's cool.
On the bottom left-hand side, does it look like it says Anna?
It does.
Joanna.
Okay.
We're gonna get to that.
Says Joanna.
So this is when he started working. This is started when he started working in wood. So he borrowed somebody's tools, he carved it out of wood, and then someone took it and they sold it. And
Somebody else painted it.
somebody else
polychromed it.
painted it, added the fabric to it. And the person that first bought it for 600 francs. And then a collector named Charles Timbold thought he had a treasure because he got this and he was like, I have a medieval piece of work. But Charles was known to buy pieces that were questionably fakes and claiming they were real. So people at the time were like, clearly this doesn't look like a fucking Renaissance piece. They didn't do pieces in wood back then. And it was, even if it was carved with Giovanna and had a date in it, it had fabric and all this other shit and looked like a piece that was made in the 1800s. The reason back then, though, that it wasn't considered a fake is it wasn't based off of any existing piece of artwork.
Oh.
So he tried to make a big stink about it. Other people came to Giovanni, the first one's defense, being like, he never claimed it to be an older piece. We don't know where the fuck you got it, but you're an idiot if you think this is an old piece. It doesn't look like anything. Like, it doesn't look like anything from that time frame. Why would it be?
So it sold for 600 francs. What? And he only got paid 2 lire for it. What is?
No, he got paid 2 lire per day from Freppa.
Oh, okay.
Then he would sell his pieces, but he'd only make a couple lire per piece.
Okay.
And then they'd sell it for francs, which we know is like worth way fucking more.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Them exchange rates, man.
Those exchange rates.
I love this racket.
Bitcoin.
Dogecoin.
Shut up.
So the
Doja Cat.
issues start with, if we could go to the dude's photo, so before this one. So this is No, the guy with the.
Oh, okay.
He looked like a monk.
This guy.
This guy.
That guy's just a homeless guy. I think I saw him outside a little while ago.
Girolamo Savonarola.
Yes. So this was commissioned to be made in a terracotta, and it was made in 1863. So he made the bust, and then it was handed off to sculptor Francisco Giovannis. Giovanni colored it and aged it, and hid it in the Ingranini's Florentine villa, where it was discovered by art dealer named Capone. So basically, they hid it in somebody's house, and they were like, "Holy shit! Did you see this old piece of shit we found here?" And they traced it back, and that's a real person. So they looked at.
Savonarola, yeah, he was a historical figure in Italy.
He was.
Yeah.
So he based it off of paintings of him, and then they aged it to make it look like it was actually from the Renaissance. So Frappa gets his hands on this, and they sell it at auction. When they sell it at auction, it sells for 13,600 francs to the Louvre.
Wow.
The Louvre bought this thinking it was a genuine artifact. What happens is no one suspects that Giovanni did this, but Frappa
Cheers
doesn't.
to getting one over on the Louvre.
Frappa doesn't get.
Sorry, Lou.
I think a few
Yeah.
people have done that.
Yeah, but Frappa doesn't get the percentage he originally agreed to, so he catches a tantrum and he's like, you know what? It's a fucking fake.
Oh,
Like,
he outs
fuck you
himself.
guys.
He outs himself.
So he blew it up. He blames it all on Giovanni #1. So Giovanni
This has
number
been a
one
heist movie the whole time.
goes down.
He's like, dude, I've just
as-
been doing what you told me to
Yeah.
for 2 fucking lira a day.
Basically, but he goes down as one of the oldest forgers because Frappa and a bunch of other people in his town fucking ripped him off by having him do a bunch of copies for what they said were customers, and they were really just reselling it to fucking museums
That's brilliant.
and antiquity people.
Art scams.
Yeah.
Art scams for days.
I like
Because he realized, right, that he was like, I have my money now. I'm good. I'm going to blow it up.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's bring it down.
It was
This dude-
very hard finding information on this because people are still not clear if Giovanni knew what was going on. But they're like, why would he not have asked for more money if he fucking knew what was going on?
I love
Because he was
this.
taking all the risk of making the original.
This is fucking great.
So this is the tale of two Giovannis.
So this kind of leads into like Jeff Koons and what he does
Before we
with his squad.
Are we going to segue to that?
So this is the original Coons.
I mean, before we do that, what were you gonna say?
Can we intermission so I can go potty?
All right, yeah.
I need to go potty too.
Let's take a break.
Yes, break.
Okay, so we're back.
We're back on
So
episode 30.
basically, Giovanni got suckered in to fucking selling artwork. Well, he wasn't selling
Oh, this
artwork.
was like-
He was just doing master copies, which they encourage at fucking the art school level like all the time.
Yeah.
That's like one of the day one stuff. It's like, hey, how do I get better at art? They're like, do master copies.
And I
do
was
master copies.
reading
Do
like
master
before
copies.
Do more
he
master copies.
started working for Frappa, he would just hang out in the barn of his house to make sculptures and work in the middle of the night. And like his brother wrote about him doing this shit next to like farm animals and shit. So he lived in the middle of nowhere, essentially. And then people were buying his stuff and just leaving town and doing this stuff. So it would take a while for the information to get back of what was actually fucking occurring.
Hey, did you hear what
The
happened in the big
1800s.
city?
I
What?
took all your
Turns out
shit,
you're
made a
ripping
lot
off
more
the art
money for
market.
it.
Yeah.
I am.
Which basically, I don't know if he heard about it until Frappa was just like, well, you know what, the Louvre, it was fucking fake anyway.
What did he say? Like when I
So
brought up
this was
the
like a Ponzi scheme before Ponzi scheme was a thing.
so when I brought up the Nike thing earlier, when people do, but it's legal that they do it because Nike allows them to do it. You could buy like 1,000 sneakers, alter them the way you want, and then sell it.
But it's buying a Nike and altering it. It's not.
But
So
then
like
you
it's
can
not
get
making
you can
it
go
not
on
me.
Wish and get some Jordans.
But what if-
that got made overnight in the factory?
We know for a fact that
That's
the
probably
guy,
more like
the first
the scam.
Giovanni, never
Right.
got paid.
He never got paid for what they were making.
It's not me going to the basement right
But he
now and
was
starting a
getting
He did all
sweatshop
the hard
making
work,
shoes.
but didn't get all the profits for it.
But it's weird, right?
But
What
he
if-
didn't like get arrested because, like they said, it wasn't actually based off of an original
Right.
sculpture. The two things that were really passed.
And
So
any-
this was
and-
technically his highest selling ticket. And like
Yeah.
this was the most expensive thing
Well,
they
as
ever
far as
really
they
sold.
knew.
And
Yeah.
anyone
Right.
who is selling a Nike copy, or anyone who's buying
Right.
a Nike copy like that, is going to be a sneakerhead. They're going
Right.
to know that's not
what it is.
right.
But
They're
what
gonna
if?
recognize
Let's say,
it, so.
let's just say, let's have a what if moment, like what when Marvel does what if. What if the second Giovanni was paying this guy his fair share and say, listen, I'm splitting the profits with you. I'm just going to market this, and you just do the art. Would that have been okay in your guys' eyes being what it is?
I mean, if he got paid for his work, I'd be a little more okay with it.
If they split it 50-50, he's like, listen,
If
this is what
he
we're gonna do.
openly knew that it's like, hey, I'm going to sell this off as a ripoff.
And he knew that it was a forgery, and he knew it was being passed off as that, and he was being paid 50%. Fuck yeah, why not?
Okay, so you're okay with teams?
But I feel like then he deserves the label as accomplice more
yes.
than he does now. Which
Fair.
right now he's still being labeled as an accomplice, even though
Yes.
Well, yeah.
there's no proof that he
Reggie
was.
and I
Very true.
team up all the time to come up with a good scam.
Yeah.
A scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a heist movie. You got to form a team first.
Yeah.
You pull off
Ocean's
all the
11, bro.
do.
And
a
also,
lot
if
of
he knew, would
boards.
he say anything? Because basically, this dude's being a sugar daddy.
I mean, even
I
at
think
the
they
point,
fucked.
the point that I would
Maybe.
like lose respect for him, being like, all right, you were openly trying to work one over on the fucking gallery market, but then there's that other point where it's like, well, they didn't know.
That's where I'm.
There's
I'm
like I lean more to one side, but there's still that apprehension that's like, well,
Because-
See, I'm the guy who
Joanna.
I'm the guy
How
who
many-
likes a good scheme on like corporate.
okay.
I wouldn't
Well,
scheme.
technically, they schemed corporate when they're selling shit to the Louvre.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't pull a scheme on you, but I have no problem pulling a scheme on Walmart.
Right. So now let's go
So
forward.
if he's scheming an artist, no, it's fucked up.
Let's go
That's
forward.
what I mean. If he's
200.
working over the gallery circuit and they're not cross-referencing
Then
whether
fuck
the
him.
work is
That's
Well,
counterfeit.
let's go forward 200 years. Graphic designers start emerging in the art industry, and with a lot of these graphic designers, maybe even mid 90s, right, start taking other people's work and altering it slightly, and they can't get sued.
You're talking about like Shepherd Ferry kind of thing.
Yeah, stuff like that. Even now, new age artwork. I mean, if we're talking about craft beer in general and the can labels on craft beer, you start to see a lot of these breweries do their labels. For example, like a Snickers label, or we're having one come out that's basically the jet puffed marshmallow label, but just on a fucking can. Now, are they going to sue? It's like a badge of honor when a brewery gets sued for this, and they get a cease and desist, and then it goes away, and then they blow up. So, same thing. I mean, if he's altering it slightly, I think the only deception here is him deceiving the first Giovanni.
Yeah.
Not deceiving. I mean, yeah, he's pulling the wool over, pulling everything over on these other places that are hiring him, but they like the art. This is sculpting. It's still sculpture. It's not like it's a fake sculpture.
Right.
The dude is still sculpting this.
My question is, I wonder if the Francisco sculpture, so the one that was like polychrome and fabric and shit, if Francisco knew about it. Fifth member of the podcast right there.
That was badass.
He does that all the time.
Hey, new intro.
So that's this one.
It's another one. This one I think is based like another Giovanni one, but this one would be the first like real wood one he did. And I'm wondering if the guy that bought it and was like, this is a genuine 1400s piece, and when they got called out on it, was it just a tester to see like what could have worked to pass? Because the other one, if you look at it, looks like a genuine 1400s piece, and it was done after. The other female one that they're also crediting to him looks more authentic.
How much is this stuff valued now? Is any of this stuff, the two Giovannis, like how much? Like
Probably not that much because they're considered forgers.
a couple, like we're talking in the tens of
They're
thousands.
probably devalued it a lot in the
Yeah.
fine art market.
Is this piece is still in the Louvre? The one that the Louvre bought? Is it part of
I
their like,
don't
permanent
know.
collection?
A lot of them are labeled as not being displayed right now.
Okay.
So it's possible the Louvre still has it. The one at the
It's in the
National
basement.
Gallery is on display.
I mean, as you said, it's still a work of art.
Right.
You know,
Someone
it
did
still
that.
is. You still paid a
Yeah.
shitload of money for it.
Can you
So a lot of
define?
technical application. There's a lot of cool
Can you
shit.
define master copies? Define that for me. Like when they're doing master copy sculpting, they're still sculpting it, right?
It's like if you
It's like when
try
you-
and replicate the
yeah.
Mona Lisa just to learn the techniques that Da Vinci used.
Okay.
You're studying other, like when a piano student learns a bunch of Beethoven and Bach. When an art
Okay.
student is
I go-
encouraged to study classical stuff.
I'm working it. I'm not, but
Color,
trying to
rendering,
copy this. Trying to do
composition.
this as close as possible to
Just to learn
understand.
technique.
and figure
Okay,
out what
his
you learn
technique,
along
his
the way.
art.
What's your take?
Because in theory, when that student is doing that, they're going to have imperfections in that enough to the point where you can sell this piece as like, oh, okay, all right, I get it.
I mean, there was a piece that just recently, it was a sculpture similar to this, but it was made out of wax and something else, and they thought it was a Da Vinci sculpture, and they just tested it, and it's made out of like a specific whale wax, so it's from the 1800s too. But for a long time, they didn't know if it was a Da Vinci or not, and they were like, there's no way that Da Vinci could have had access
It's
to
kind
this
of like
back
that
then.
Salvatore Mundi painting, right? Like they don't know if that was
They don't
Leonardo
know.
who painted that or one of his students allegedly.
Yeah,
but
'cause
still, some Saudi prince paid $450 million.
But this,
for
they're
it.
positive, like they found the artist that did it in the 1800s.
Wow.
Well, because I mean, then it comes down to, I mean, at the time when the students, it was like the school of, you know, so it became, so you can buy them, well, you can't buy one, but you can find Michelangelo's, but then you can also find the school of Michelangelo.
So
And it doesn't mean that Michelangelo even contributed anything to it.
You didn't even look at it.
Might
Probably
have been
gave,
one of his students. that
right,
had-
probably
50
gave
years later.
probably gave a
after he
critique
died.
on it.
He walked in and was
Yeah,
like,
like-
oh, I would change the nose.
If you're
Yeah, that
talking
sort of
about people like Botticelli or Dürer, they had assistants that would help them with like fucking wood plates and shit back
Yeah.
then. So as they got older in age, it's unclear how much of it was their work or their assistants
Oh, wow.
basing stuff on them and selling it as.
With the whole mentor
Well,
apprenticeship
didn't
thing.
Durer have that one guy who kept selling like
Oh
fake
yeah,
prints of his
and
stuff?
he even like put his signature and he's like, "Fucking stop!" And he took him
Yeah.
to court and he won.
Yeah.
So the guy could make copies, but he couldn't sign Dürer's name because that was Dürer, you know.
Wow.
Nice.
Albrecht Dürer is a G. If you haven't watched that episode, do it. It was great.
We saw a bunch of his prints at the Fenimore Museum
Yeah.
in Cooperstown. Crazy.
And I love the amount of detail he put into those prints that are this big, but one portrait of his wife he could not be even bothered to finish, and she's like,
Yeah, he painted a portrait of her that was like the size of this, and then
no, it was
It
just like a tiny sketch. He didn't even fucking paint one. He was
yeah, it
just
looked like
like,
complete shit. And then he'll do like postcards, like postage stamp size carvings that are ridiculous. It's like, no, you just phoned it in your wife.
That's like it's a psychological thing because he's already conquered his wife. So that's why he doesn't want to do
he
it.
just kind of wanted the dowry. We're pretty sure that he didn't even like her.
Oh,
They were
Jesus
living
Christ.
What
together.
you would
Yeah.
call a fag hag.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
oh,
He had a lot of pen pal artists that he'd send.
That's kinda where
I'm pretty
maybe,
sure
yeah.
Michelangelo was one of them. He sent a portrait of himself on vellum that you can only see if you put it over candlelight, but it got destroyed. I'm pretty sure he sent the first dick pic. Like he mailed the first dick pic to be revealed by candlelight to another artist.
Fucking hot.
Yeah.
It's hot as shit.
I knew you would
Did
love
that
that.
on, where
Yeah.
German, right?
Yeah, German.
Yeah, did that from Germany.
Yeah.
Left his
For a really long
he
time.
code farmer wife.
I guarantee. I
could
guarantee he did not. He was not hard in that dick pic. He was flaccid.
We don't know.
I
The pic was
guarantee
You drew it by
destroyed.
candlelight. You couldn't hold a boner for that.
100%. I understand it was destroyed. But I'm saying.
And if you have, they recommend going to the doctor if it's more than 4 to 6 hours.
Right. I would put money down. I mean, I wouldn't bet my life, but I would bet a lot of money that it was a flaccid penis.
It's
Why?
Supple.
Why? Maybe he wanted it to be
No
intimidating
way.
and threatening to the other dude,
No, he wants to say,
Yeah,
this is
maybe.
my body. What do you think? Come as you are.
or intimidate and threaten the other guy.
Define fag hag.
Oh god.
I just wanted to say that.
Oh.
So,
Well, it's like when a gay dude marries a girl for
Oh.
cover.
To pretend that.
But she knows.
Or also,
Not always.
no,
Not all the time.
See, I think he catfished her because while he was on his Rumspringa type thing, that was only supposed to be a year. It was like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to nail down his wife to marry her when he came back. So he sent a self-portrait holding a thistle, which is basically like
oh the fuck.
What's a a thistle is like?
And
What do you
clams.
think?
yeah, it's like
Pomegranate, right?
yeah,
It's an aphrodisiac.
It's an
That's like,
aphrodisiac.
hey,
It's like,
I'm
yeah,
DTF.
Yeah. So she was like,
what he's
let's
saying.
do this. And as soon as they married, he's like, so we're going to use your dowry and we're going to build this whole huge studio. And after that, you're going to help me with my print work. And I'm going to go to Italy. I need to study drawing other women's boobs.
Right.
They're different over there. So he left for like 6 fucking months by himself. to
Every-
Italy.
I've got to go to Italy.
like 9 days after getting married.
Right, but every pair of boobs are different. He wasn't lying when he
Yeah, he's
said
like,
that.
the fabric's different
But he's
there.
already sending candlelight pics.
So he was bisexual. He was like, yeah, all right.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
He was
It's
just
open.
down to party.
It's got to be like a lot easier.
And he had no children when they had like 20 children per person at that time. So
It just means he's really good.
he's really good. His plug game's on point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like back then it would have been so much, like it would have been a lot easier to cheat.
You think? He left
Dude, it's a
for
lot easier to do
6
anything back then. There's no
Like,
fucking cameras.
there's
everywhere.
nothing.
Nobody's got cameras.
And
in
this
their
dude's
pockets.
fucking dudes. Or letting dudes fuck him.
There's no fucking social
just-
media.
while he's
You can't
married.
tag yourself
not only
in
that,
fucking Italy.
he had pen pals where he like that were other artists, and he'd say things like, "My wife's being a bitch today." Like he would straight
Send
up
that.
just talk shit at his wife
So-
and send it.
So
When-
this dumb cunt.
Yeah,
when he. God.
he's
interesting.
He's great. He's very full of himself.
But she obviously got something out of the deal, or else she could have said that he wasn't performing in bed and got a divorce.
It's true. She could have done that, but she didn't.
Because there was
I
that.
don't know what-
1500s.
yeah, I don't know what she-
No, that's not true.
Cuffs with your husband.
But I don't know what she
But-
would have gotten out of it
Are
because
you
she was the
trying to
rich
make-
one.
Right.
Yeah.
She should have gotten something. There's been something, or he would have been like, I don't care who you have sex with, who you're intimate with, but this is what I'm like. There's no reason why she would have gotten married to him with all that dowry if it wasn't something for her. And back when I was
He
doing a
was
lot
a
of.
very pretty
boy.
man.
Okay, so he was
He
pretty.
was.
Back when I was
Every
doing.
once in a while, he was like,
You
"We
only went to
can
art
as long
school
as the
in Munich,
candles
he's
are
like so
out,
hot.
and you wrap your hair around the front of your face so it feels a little bit like a beard."
So he was fucking
He
her.
draws me like so many pictures. He's so hot. Okay, my version of a fag hag is a girl that has a shit ton of gay dudes as friends.
Are we going around what our? Okay, I can
I
do this.
dated a girl
I
that
can
was
do
like
this.
that, and I spent a lot of time hanging out at the gay bar because of so. But everything was fine. It was a weird relationship because she was
Sure.
a weird chick. But that in my head, it's like that is
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Wow.
like this.
Jesus
I
Christ.
feel like that's more of our F word than fuck because we say fuck all the time.
Yeah.
Faggot.
We're never gonna get monetized by YouTube. Is basically
Oh, who
what we're
cares?
saying.
Thanks, YouTube.
YouTube doesn't give a shit.
No.
Here's 34 hours worth of content to vet through. Find how many times Reggie says the F word.
Do a
And we're not
compilation.
talking about fuck.
All right, so that's the two Giovannis.
That's
Okay.
what you about.
And a
a
side
little bit of dirt.
and a sidebar on dirt
Yeah.
for 10.
That was a great
That's the
episode.
Albrechter episode. I don't remember what episode number it is, but it's probably like
We'll say 10.
yeah.
Well, before we go,
Teen.
we should also introduce ourselves.
We should.
We can record something to put at the beginning.
Yeah, we can do.
No,
that.
leave it at the end.
Well, we
Okay.
can do we can do both.
We can do both.
Fine.
Let's do an intro and an outro.
Okay. I'm Josh Roth at joshroth.com and all the things. I'll be at the Tattoo the Lou convention this weekend at St. Louis. So if you're out there, come see me.
Reggie Cuvelier here with at Reggie Inks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. For $1 a month, you can give me $1 or tune in, like, subscribe, and share this channel.
I'm Zach Pedley. You can find me on Facebook at Zach Pedley, or you can find me on Instagram at I Like My Beers Ratchet, or follow the North Brewery at North Brewery Instagram or North Brewery on Facebook.
What about your TikTok?
I'm also on TikTok as Chomp88. The first 8 is spelled. Or is it the second 8? Well, you'll have to find out. I'm kind of a big deal. I got 5 million views. 5 million views, Reg.
Big deal.
Yeah. So he's kind of a big deal, but he doesn't even know his own name.
That's how you know you're a big deal.
Well, I'm not bothered with things like that.
I'm Christina. You can find me at Christina Maslar on Facebook, Christina_Maslar on Instagram. I'm part of Crucible Gallery. I'm here most of the time, or at home. That's Brandon.
I'm Harry Potter. You can find me under the stairs.
Harry Twatter.
I'm not allowed out very often.
BamBurnsThings.com.
Yeah.
That was done beautifully.
And that's it, guys. We're out.
That was great.
We didn't even touch on Coons, did we? Hold on, let's pause and go back to Coons.
That was a great podcast. I thought that was good. Well, the opening was a train wreck.
What's Chomp 88?
It's a reference to Super Mario Brothers,
Oh, okay.
and I was born in the year '88.